less well attended, and that makes sense. I mean, it's the early beginning of the week, early part of the day. Folks are busy, but so we'll see whether we're going to continue doing this or not. I don't know. It's sort of a test as everything.
Well, it's usually a challenge for me. I just happen to have had a trainer take over the sessions I normally do at this time to make sure I was available today.
I see. Hey, Rick, while I'm thinking, how'd you do in that powerlifting event?
It's not yet. It's in next month in Europa.
Okay, I got you.
Down in North Carolina, in Charlotte.
All right. And are you really trying to bench press 650?
Yeah. Somewhere between 650 and 675.
I just think if I tried to take that much weight out of a rack, out of a squat rack, it would probably snap my spine. So I can't even imagine you pressing it. It boggles my mind.
The last one I did in September, I got 600. And so I figure I have to do better. Otherwise, it's not worth it, right? If we don't keep pushing ourselves to get better. So
that's amazing. What's your current max right now, bench?
635.
How old are you, Rick?
60.
Every report I've ever read on strength development over time says that as you age, you lose up to 30% of your strength from 30.
Well,
you do that when you sit on your butt doing nothing. I'll agree.
Yeah. That's right. Use it or lose it. I mean, you look at Paul Fetters. He's kind of a freak in some ways. I think genetically he's a bit of a freak. I think, but it's just incredible. It's not so much incredible that he's maintained the commitment to exercise, but that he's maintained such a lean physique for so long.
And that's all by choice, and I applaud him. After I was finished with the whole bodybuilding side of it, I just decided, okay, once I hit about 50, I'm tired of dieting like that.
Yeah.
I kind of took a break. I had some health issues, not related to working out or anything, just inevitable things. And I just kind of got that competitive ember going in me again, but I didn't want to diet. So this was the route I took so I can challenge myself.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. Well,
I plan on setting a world record, being the oldest man, having a record where it's going to be the heaviest weight for somebody over 60 years old.
If you hit the 650, it will be?
650, 675, yeah. Right now, I'm number 2 in the country on powerlifting watch. A week after I did that, a guy hit 605. And I'm guessing he hit his very limit when he did that.
Yeah.
And I was breaking in a new shirt, to keep my shoulders safe and everything, where now it's broke in and it takes me 635 pounds just to get it down and touch my chest.
Wow.
Yeah, I've seen those things. That's
That's super intense stuff. Woo.
Wow. Well,
it'll be interesting.
It will be. Hopefully, it would be sweet if you could post some video footage, man.
Oh, we will. It's going to all be live streamed and everything.
Awesome. I would love to see that. I'd like to be able to say that I know a world record holder.
And what's the date?
It's in April. I want to say like the weekend of the 21st or 22nd, whatever that is.
All right. Excellent.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Tonight I'm going to try to hit 650 here in the gym. So we may video that.
Might as well, man. Might as well.
Incredible. I don't even think I could spot you on that much weight. I mean, even with another person.
Believe it or not, we've got a really good powerlifting team here that we put together in the last year and a half. I've got 850-pound bench presser, one 700-pound guy. There's 3 of us that are at 600 plus. I mean, I've got a woman, 325.
Damn.
She just did a charity benefit bench press thing this past weekend. Took 185 pounds for 32 reps to bench press for charity.
And It boggles my mind. I mean,
so, you know, kind of like we're talking about the push up for charity, we're talking about doing some stuff like that with our power team.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's,
you know what, Rick? We could do a whole comedy skit. Eric and I could come in, get on either side of your 600-pound bench, right? Or 650, right? And you could go down and fake like you can't get it up. And Eric would be on one side, I'd be on the other, and I'd say, Eric, lift it. And he'll say, you lift it. And he'll say, I'll lift it.
It's not going to happen.
I'll post the 600-pound one in here for you when we get done.
That would be great. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see it. All right, let's get down to business, you guys. So I've started the recording. Yeah, I got the recording going. So today, welcome to the Referral Challenge Q&A Mastermind call for April the 3rd, 2017. Time is flying. We are a quarter of a way through the year. It's just everything boggles my mind now, I think. All right, so I don't have any updates or anything like that. So let's just dig right into it. Chris, let's start with you, brother. How are things going? Any questions, issues? Give us an update.
No, everything's going pretty well. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, great. So we're 4 weeks out from our move into our new facility right now. So that's kind of our primary focus. So I'm still working down the checklist from the last 2 weeks. Right now, last week in terms of Facebook signage, our signage SOP rather, we're holding off on all the signage because obviously we're moving into a new facility, but we are, planning that out where our wall of fame is going to be. And so we're doing a little pregame on the signage, just getting prepped for that. Once we get into the new facility, we'll start making that top priority to get the signage in place. And we really focused last week on the Facebook check-in SOP. A couple things we did was my admin went through and she friend requested all of our folks, from me so that we could then go and invite them to the business page. We then put some SOPs in place so to make sure that that happens on a regular basis and everything is automated with that for both asking them to be friends as well as a weekly check to make sure that those people are being invited as they accept those friend requests. So we got that in place. And then also we put in place an SOP for fun, community engaging pictures to be put on our business page. Right now, we've just been doing once a week testimonies or success stories. So just taking one step further there, making sure we're getting some fun pics up there, showcasing our community and things of that nature. So we got that into an SOP, so that's happening once a week as well. And then I've been working on the daily personal posts, just trying to get into that habit of posting some stuff up personally from a family standpoint, things that I got going on in my life. So that's kind of where we are right now. And we're still trying to narrow down our charities for the check-in for charity. Reached out to Sean Lee about his thermometer poster, which is awesome. So trying to get that prepped as well.
Awesome. That's great. Kudos to you for creating your own SOPs. That's fantastic. And that's the name of the game. I'll just share with you this book. Have any of you read this book? Chris Cooper, Two Brain Business. All right, this guy does a lot of consulting to CrossFit, and he's a very, very sharp guy. I just got turned on to him recently, and I just started this book, and it's pretty fascinating. It's CrossFit specific. Well, it's fitness business related, but it's more specific to CrossFit, but that doesn't matter. There's a lot of transferable stuff. But he talks about in there I'm just starting it, but this quote about Einstein, there's this thing in here where he says, no, that's not it. But anyway, his point is that one of the things he's a big systems guy, a big systems guy. And he talks about just how once you have, we all want to be creative. We're naturally creative people for the most part, entrepreneurs are, and you want some freedom to have creativity in your business, particularly when it comes to how you handle your clients, your programming, things like that. But on the business side, you have to be systematic. And the irony is, the great lesson is that the more systematic you are on the business side, the more structured your business side is, the more freedom you have to be creative on the client side, the programming side, and all this stuff, because it frees you up. It frees up that mental that burden or whatever, because you've got stuff dialed in on the business side. I just think it's beautiful. It's a beautiful explanation, and it's so true. I mean, you've probably heard other people say that, the real secret to freedom is structure, having structure in your life. And so again, just to commend you on the SOPs, on the creation of that you clearly get it, you see what needs to be done, and you're implementing and building out on your own, which is fantastic, Chris. So
cool. Yeah, thanks. So I'll be digging into the new content this week that we have posted up. And the one question that I had on that was about the crystal ball report.
Yeah.
And again, I haven't dug into it yet, but would that be something in regards to the business card conversation that we talked about, that you may want to send them from the business card to the crystal ball report?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great idea. That's a great idea because it is compelling. The title of it is, the curiosity element of it is very compelling, and it's good. You've got it built out already. So yeah, that would make good sense. What I recommend people don't do is get like 1,000 business cards printed, get 250 or 500, something like that, because you might want to make adjustments later on and change that up and have the flexibility. And there's no sense throwing away 500, 750 cards if you do decide to make a change. But I think that's a good idea. Yeah.
Another thing, Chris, is to take a cue off of what Tom Jacobs did with that crystal ball report, and he boosted it or advertised it or something on Facebook. He's brought in a couple of clients off of that bring it in and then show him the whole report. It was he was excited about it. I think he made a post on it over on our Facebook page.
Yeah, he did. So it's engaging. It gets folks involved in the copy, and it's just a sales presentation in print, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, that's good. So you said you're 4 weeks out from your move. Is this a dramatic? Oh no, you told me you're just next door, right? You're just expanding, isn't that right?
No, so we're actually moving about 5 miles down the road.
Oh.
So we're going from our current facility, which is about 1,400 square feet, to 5632.
All right. Beautiful. Nice. Yeah, that's a lot of space. All right, good.
That move, Chris, what's been the reaction of your clientele? Are you losing any, do you think, or what do you think?
No, everyone's real excited.
Good.
Good. You got plenty of parking?
Yeah, now it's pretty much an upgrade across the board. We have no parking now. We have a huge parking lot over there. We have no showers now. Over there, we have showers in both locker rooms. We're good to go.
Oh, that's great.
How many members do you have, Chris?
About 110.
Good.
Awesome. Lots of room for expansion. That's great. For growth, I should say. Yeah. Good. All right. Very good. Wayne, let's jump down to you, brother. What's going on? How are things going? Got any questions? Give us an update.
Going super. I do have some questions.
Okay.
As far as the checklist, I'm trying to put some of those in place. I know you guys put some out. I'm trying to tweak them, make them my own. Trying to figure out what to do with them so people see them, trying to see what other people have done, like post them in a certain place, or, what works with that.
Yeah, well, depending on the size of your operation, and I think in your case, it's if you've got a lead trainer, if somebody who's responsible for management, then you can delegate. If you don't, as is the case with a lot of businesses, I think yours, you are the lead trainer. You're also the business manager. You've got to. You're the one who's responsible for that. So that's a management tool and an accountability tool. Those checklists are. So I would say you keep them with you on a clipboard, and as you check things to ensure that they're being implemented, you can educate whomever is doing the implementation at that point too, and do the accountability. So it's all in one, but ultimately it's not for anybody but you, unless you have someone who's in charge of managing your staff that's not you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. There are several different admin people, so I think we just on a clipboard near the front desk. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, so you mean so they see it. Okay, so they see it. But what you also want to do is make sure that they are say you've got 30 items on that checklist and one admin's responsible for 15 and the other's responsible for 15. You just need to make sure that it's very clear who's responsible for what, so there's no confusion. That clarity is critical. And then I guess you can have them check things off as they go through it on a daily basis.
Okay.
But then you would obviously need to follow up, and that's the important thing. Inspect what you expect. That's key.
Okay. I have another question. Aaron, you're saying something?
I was just going to say, ultimately, the checklist is your freedom list, right? Back to Chris's point, right? By the time you start training your guys to do the systems, it sets you free, right? So, that system.
Yep. That's what I'm learning.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh! Awesome.
I do have another question. Our rates have gone up. We've gone up to $167 a month.
Okay.
I know that everybody can't afford that. Legitimately, I understand priorities, and maybe they're not making priorities, but if they just say they can't afford it, instead of just letting people go completely, I'm thinking about maybe having something like some online workouts, online boot camps that maybe they pay a fraction of the cost for, that maybe they can still have access to. That way I can keep them as a client, and maybe at some point if their situation changes, I'll still get that contact with them and I can bring them back in. So I want thoughts on that and how to do that. Like, should I charge people a small amount and have them go to a password protected web page, or have them come to invited to a secret Facebook group and they pay a recurring monthly fee to have access to something like that?
Yeah.
Can I ask a question regarding that?
Yeah, go ahead, Rick.
Are you talking about people that are current clients and given 30 days notice, or what kind of person are you talking about?
Yeah, that would be like someone who says that they have to quit because they just can't afford it anymore, or someone who has come and tried this out for a short promo but says they love the place but they just can't continue at the current rate.
Can I kind of interject what I do right now, because it's become a huge profit center for me?
Yes, please.
Well, obviously, I use a nutrition software for my nutrition, which is important. But when they do that, because usually that's an uncomfortable conversation for them to come tell you that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing I do is I align with them. Hey, Wayne, I completely understand. My family's the most important thing to me too, so I respect what you're doing. But I also know this is really serious for you because you've been coming so long. Look at the changes you made. Let me make a recommendation for you. Let me show you 5 or 6 exercises you can do at home on your own, because I don't want you to just lose it. Let's keep you on the same nutrition program that we're doing, and then let's schedule to meet once a month so I can keep you going in the right direction. Now, I'll only charge you $59 a month for it, or whatever you decide to charge, Wayne. And I'm telling you, these are people that come saying, I can't afford you anymore, and I've just come up with a cheaper solution for them to keep them going in the right direction, and I'm trying to help them. The law of reciprocity works so often when you do that.
That's beautiful, Rick. I love that. Well, let me ask you a couple of questions. What was the past rate? What was your cost?
For me?
No, for Wayne. I'm sorry.
I just went up from 147 to 167.
All right, so 147 to 167. All right. So when did you make that change?
April.
All right, April. All right, so how many did you think you lost during that time?
Well, I didn't raise the rates across the board. People are keep their current rate. When they join, they're locked into whatever rate they join.
Okay, so it hasn't affected your current clientele at all.
No, just new clients.
Okay, I got you. So look, that was really my inquiry. Anybody that can afford 147 can afford 167. Let's just be honest, right? It isn't the cost at that point. It's not the difference between 147 and 250, right? So the 147 to 167, I can't even envision how somebody that could afford the original rate can't afford the second rate, right? So what's the objections that you're hearing?
Yeah.
Well, it's not from the current clients. It's from people that, because we have a 3-day trial where people come try us out for free, or either they do a low barrier offer of, 30 days for $97 or something like that. And they really love it, but they just don't see how they can afford the higher rate for a normal monthly rate.
Do you take them through a consultative sales process?
Not all the times. Usually it's just a stand-up thing at the end of a session. It's not really a sit-down, formal, sales presentation.
I'll tell you, the biggest, the most dramatic thing that we ever did, I've ever been a part of in the fitness industry, was when we introduced auto closure. And Dick Chilton created that, and it is a consultative sales process that dramatically changed people's lives, business owners' lives, because they finally discovered how to sell the right way. And I don't care if you're selling $167 a month or you're selling $5,000 packages. If you're getting issues because of a $20 price increase, you need to seriously look at how you're selling your services. That's the number one suggestion I would give you. And I would encourage you to do, I'm just going to mute you for a second. I would encourage you to even if it's an abbreviated consultative sale, it can take 15, 20 minutes. You sit them down in a room with a bunch of testimonials around, you show social proof, and then you peel the onion. You take them through a process where you just, you get to the emotional core of why they want to make a change, why they're there in the first place. You discover what that is. You dig deep, so it's not just, hey, I want to lose 30 pounds. It's it's some deeper emotional. I've lost my self-confidence. It's something like that. Usually, it comes down to you want to get down to those deep emotional reasons, and then you position your or you present your sale opportunities. That will have a dramatically better effect than just a casual conversation at the end of the day, because then price. It's easy for them to say, oh, it's price. And you don't have any ammunition to come back at them and say, well, what's your self-confidence worth to you? Because you don't have that information. So I'm not advocating auto closer because I don't advocate anything from that business anymore. But I am encouraging you to learn a consultative sales process. And there's a lot of resources for that, which I can point you to later on.
Well, and I'll send you something I sent to another trainer. I'm going to keep their company, but I'm just not going to tell you who they are at the moment. But let's just say this. One of the owners, called me and really wasn't having success with auto closer for whatever reason. They had success in the past, but for whatever reason, it just didn't seem to be working. And I don't know. I have no idea what that was. But I sent him a document that I've put together, and he called me back just to say that he closed 9 out of 10 immediately and hadn't dropped below 9 out of 10 over the last, at that time, 3 or 4 months in a row, right? But in its essence, essentially, it ultimately boils down to afters selling, AFTERS, afters selling, right? And after selling ultimately boils down to simply a question, right? It's as simple and elegant as this. Wayne, after you and I have worked together for 3-4 months, whatever your initial package is, right? What do you want to have happened after we've worked together for those 4 months? In which case, they're going to tell you exactly what they want. And that's how you begin to sell them. All right? If you want to upgrade them to an 8 or 12 month, then you follow up. All right, great, Wayne. Now let's say that we've worked together for 8 months. What do you want to happen after those 8 months? You're going to make them think. they're going to have to tell you what they want. And ultimately, at that point, you have the ammunition to come back to them in a moment. And ultimately, Wayne, let's just say we've worked together for a year. What do you want to have accomplished in that year? And they're going to tell you. They're going to be forced to tell you. And then when it's all said and done, you come right back and you just say it this way. Wayne, I can tell you for certain, important language. I can tell you for certain in the first 3 months, 4 months, based on what you want and based on social proof, right? That we can accomplish that for you. And based on your 8-month goal, I can tell you for certain, social proof, that we can accomplish that for you. And in a year, I can tell you for certain, social proof, that we can accomplish that for you. It's elegant, it's easy, and it works.
Yeah, that's future pacing. And that it's a proven sales tactic. You know, you get them to envision what their life is going to look like in 4 months, 8 months, 12 months, and then tell you. And then you have all that ammunition. That's beautiful. So Wayne, we'll Aaron and I'll put together a couple things that you can look at, you know, that will help you with that if you decide to utilize a consultative sales process, which I highly recommend. Not only will it make you not only will your close rate go up, won't deal with these the price issue nearly as frequently, but you will become much more confident and a much more efficient salesperson just in general, because we're constantly selling, and it will enhance your ability to be a better business owner in a variety of ways.
Yeah. The sad part is, I have to admit, I understand a lot of sales. I've been in sales for probably over 20 years, but I haven't been utilizing it here. I've been doing a lot of it through either email or text, and avoiding that face-to-face. And I hate to see how many people that I've lost by not doing it the right way.
So why do you think that is? Why do you think you're avoiding the face-to-face? Do you feel like you don't have time, or what? What's the angst?
I think it's just that general uncomfortableness, being uncomfortable of face-to-face. But I mean, we should be confident in what we're doing. I mean, we're doing something that's more important than a doctor visit to them. I think, you know, we're helping them change their lives. So it's just a matter of being confident enough to get that point across to them and take them through the sales process. You're not trying to convince them something that is not in their best interest. We're trying to convince them to do something that is in their best interest. So I have to take people down that path.
Yeah, but more importantly, you're trying to get them to convince themselves. And that's what, when we talk about effective salesmanship, is really holding up a mirror. And, you know, so when you're doing the future pacing and things like that, and you're getting them to give you this information, and as they say it, they're realizing, and you can see it in their face, just how important this really is to them and how much they want it. And they're basically convincing themselves right in the moment. And that's the real power of high-level salesmanship. So yeah, it's good. Frankly, I got to commend you for being honest and saying that. Not a lot of people will say, "Oh, I don't like the you know, it makes me uncomfortable being in those situations." Most people won't admit to that, but that's the honest truth for almost all of us. If you're avoiding a sales situation, it's because you just don't like or what you perceive to be confrontational. So good for you for admitting that, realizing that, and then now addressing it.
Can I say something on that end?
Yeah, please.
Wayne, I understand exactly where you are on that, because there was a point back a while when I was trying to shift everything to send them by emails, getting people to sign up online, but I just had a rude awakening to myself one day. It's like, wait a minute, this is called personal training for a reason. We need to be personal, and the only way that can happen is with the human interaction. That's what makes it so special. And once I realized that, and realized the fact that these people are uncomfortable talking about their issues to us, and they're coming to us because we're the professional in their eyes, it made it a whole lot easier. It made my sales go a lot better, when I just said, okay, I've got to sit down with these people and talk to them, because that's what they're looking for anyway. And once I started doing that, and I realized that I'm the professional, they're not, and they're coming to me because they need help, and I need to be the one that's coaching them, providing them that assurance and security that we're going to get them where they want to be, it became so much easier.
Yeah, I love that, Rick. I spent 4.5 years in a physical therapy clinic working mano-a-mano, one-on-one with patients for an hour, right? So it's a non-traditional physical therapy environment where one client and one trainer behind, a curtained off area, and you spend an hour one-on-one with these guys. It's incredible what happens during those times where people just tell you things that you never even wanted to know, right? And but they do develop that level of trust. And to Rick's point, it is personal. You remove the personal through electronic means, it becomes, and I'm with you, Rick. I think that the electronics gets the promise, let's put it this way, the promise of an electronic systematic approach to sales is becoming less and less effective. It's got to get back to the personal end of things.
Well, the bottom line is people are coming to work with you personally. They're not. So I think even the sales process should be based on that. So I never really set it up to close a sale online where they pay online. I want them to come in and meet me first, know what we're about, because when that happens, nobody ever walks out not signing up. Where before, when they can do it in the security of their own home and either hit a button or not, we don't have control over that, Wayne. And that's where I think getting them in there, sitting down with them in person, letting them get to know you, show them that you care before, you show them what you know, because that's really what it boils down to. They want to know how much you care before they care about how much you know. And you'll close them. Your business will skyrocket. It really will.
Yeah, no doubt about all that. But to the second part of your question, I think number one is fix your sales process, because that will have the biggest, most dramatic impact on your business from now until you decide to sell it or pass it on or something. But the second part to the question is having an effective downsell. I think that's always wise. The issue is you don't want to get too. It's labor intensive to build that out. What you were talking about, a digitally delivered downsell. I think it's a great idea, and if you can outsource it or do it in your spare time, if you've got spare time, then I think it's a smart move. It's always good to have a downsell because you're not going to close 100% of people. So that's a good idea, but just realize that the financial impact from that will be small by comparison to learning how to sell the right way, which will be huge.
Right. Well, I definitely wasn't considering that to be an option at the close. I would use that to, send it to them maybe later, offer that later. Because if you gave that to them as an option at the close, that would be really easy for them to opt for that instead of what you really want them for is the real membership.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, you never want to present it as a sales option at the close. However, once you're done closing, you can only close so much. And if they're just not buying, that's it. Then it can be like oh, by the way, well, let me tell you about one other thing you might be interested in. And then you present. Yeah. All right, good. Well, that was a good discussion, and hopefully you got a lot out of that, Wayne. And it's always good talking about sales because it's just integral. It is the key, really, ultimately. Because in everything you do, it's all, whether you're marketing, no matter how sales is part of everything that we do. All right, yeah. Wayne, anything else? You're good?
So, let's just end this part with you, Wayne, by saying this. Something that Eric, this is an Eric Ruthism from 100 years ago, all right? But it holds true in its timeless. Nothing good happens until a sale happens.
Yeah.
Nothing happens until you make a sale. You can't change their life, right? You can't motivate. You can do nothing until you've sold, right?
Yeah, and you know, a lot of Eric Ruthisms are just me paraphrasing things I've learned from other people. So I just like everybody else, I stand on the shoulders of giants. But I will say this: one of those giants. I don't have his book to show you right here, but one of those giants is Jay Abraham, who wrote How to Get Everything You Can Out of All You've Got. He's written a lot of books, but that's his best book. And in that book, he talks about your moral obligation to sell. And you touched on that earlier, Wayne, and you're exactly right. And that, I think, if you find the very best salespeople have that ingrained in them, they feel like there is no better solution than my solution. I know that 100%, like I know the sky is blue. And that passion just really shines through. And because of that, they are less likely to let people off the hook. And by that, I mean they're not pushier in the sales environment. They're not more aggressive like a used car salesman, but they're more inquisitive. And they dig deeper for more information that can ultimately be used to close the sale, because they want to find out what's holding this person back from choosing what is something that will absolutely change their life. All right. Yeah. Okay, Rick, let's go to you, brother. What can we do for you? Any questions, issues?
Well, first of all, we're getting a lot of things going. I got my admin working on a whole bunch of it. I think the biggest thing is just me staying on them to remind them and my trainers to remind people for the check-ins, because we started that this just past weekend. So I think it's more of that, just staying on them. I'm actually creating a checklist that's going to be just a little form that every day that they're going to fill out to what they need to get done that day. And on the top of it, it's going to be reminding people to check in. So that's just going to be a standard thing, or whatever I want to make sure they do every day. The rest of it, they're going to fill in. I think that'll expedite, make it a habit for them to remind people every day to do their Facebook check-ins. We're working right now on getting the reactivation campaign together. Matter of fact, when we were here before, I muted because I caught my admin telling my trainer, she had it printed out, and she was showing him the video scripts. And I saw her mouth to him, but we're not going to do that. So that's why I had to mute this, because I had to tell her, bullshit, yes, we are. These things are created to be done exactly the way they're created. They're created by people a hell of a lot smarter than you when it comes to it. So you don't decide what you're going to do and not do, because that's what I see trainers do all the time. Yeah. They take something that's proven to work and decide their way of doing it's better, and then when it fails, they blame it on the product. Yeah. So yeah, she kind of got a rude awakening real quick there. I've already got everything loaded for the tax day campaign. It's up, ready to go, just sitting and waiting for next Monday to get here for the first email to go out. I'll kind of play with it and watch it, when the 18th gets here, simply to make sure with Infusionsoft everything's going out timely, as Aaron had mentioned. The only other thing I'm going to do, like I had mentioned, I believe on Friday, is I need to figure out, I think I'm going to come up with a way to do this for my product for trainers as well, because I think there's an opportunity there. I just got to come up with the offer and get it all put together before the 10th, so I've got 7 days to do it.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I think, what we talked about before, it's just if the discounting is tricky, but plussing is always the easy option, to create that urgency. Hey, you can get this one day only, this special bonus, whatever it may be.
Right. The only reason I was thinking about going it is because as that whole campaign is designed, because of the deep discount for people that have never responded. That's where I was going with it, but I kind of like that idea too, to just add value to it, which gets back to what we were talking about with Wayne. When he raised his prices, did you add the value proposition when you raised it $20? Why is it worth so much more than the $20 value. So that's just what I need to come up with, Eric.
Yeah, I hear you. And I'm not saying don't do discount. And I just want to make the distinction for anybody that's not clear. Aaron's Tax Day campaign is about a discount for your services, and that's great. It's proven to work. But what we're talking about here is with Rick's info product, basically his nutrition product training, about what to do. And, maybe the discount is okay. I'm not saying don't do it.
Right.
I'm just saying consider your options.
Yeah, absolutely. I just need to come up with that in the next day or so I can write all the emails, get them loaded up and everything.
Yeah, great.
And actually probably put together a quick sales page to lead people to as well.
Yeah, but you've already got the sales letter written. All you need is a different header.
Yeah, just tweak it a little bit.
Yeah, tweak it a little bit. Yeah. All right, very good. Anything else, Chris? Anything else come to mind before we wrap up?
No, I'm good.
You good? All right.
Yeah.
One of the things I will mention that about the check-ins, the Facebook check-ins. We've heard now a couple people. Randy brought this up on the last call about he's getting a slight dip in the number of check-ins and how he can fix that. And of course, we talked about consistency, and Fred Zoller chimed in and said, what he's doing with having his trainers talk about it before every session and things like that, which is great, and that's absolutely needs to be done. But the other side of it is sharing stories about the charity on a consistent basis, just keeping the story of who these people are that you're trying to help, why you want to help them. It doesn't need to be done all the time, but I'd say, once or twice a month, if you can get something posted to your Facebook or out an email, just talking about your charity connection and why you're doing it, and what it means to these people, how you're helping them, or that's powerful because it just re-engages the emotional side of it. And as Aaron says, emotion is the ultimate strategy, and I completely agree with that.
Another thing that is, I think, quite effective based on things that we've done with Iron Tribe, instead of making people feel guilty about, not, start making people feel positive about, right? So in the training sessions, when the coaches get it, instead of getting in there going, guys, we really need you to check in, right? That just feels, well, you know how the human spirit is. We tend to rebel against that kind of, pressure. But instead, the trainer says, guys, I am so proud of you. I want you to know how much money we gave last month to this charity. Based on your check-ins, we gave X amount of bucks. Thank you so much. That shift is gold.
It just gets back to the whole emotion of appreciation. It's showing how much you appreciate them. What I did on Friday when we first started it, instead of kind of beat it over their head, I just kind of played the thing that, look, every time you guys reach certain goals, you're spending my money. You're not spending your own. And
I love that.
And I said, so I want you to spend my money each month. And the more you do, the more different goals you meet, because I'm adding several goals, like weight loss each month is going to be X amount of dollars per pound and things like that. I say, so the more you perform to your advantage, the more of my money you get to spend. It's funny, I had two ladies that don't even have Facebook said, well, for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and get Facebook.
That's great. That's great.
So show them that you appreciate them, because that is one of the most powerful human emotions. Everybody wants to know they're appreciated and that you appreciate what they're doing to help you. And I think it'll be easy. And it's just a matter for us all to train our coaches, train our staff to do it.
Yeah, that's right. And that's the key, is the training and the consistent application. And that's the hardest part in business. It's the consistent, it's knowing what to do and then doing it consistently. But that's the difference between, a $250,000 business and a $500,000 or $750,000 business. It's just a consistent application of things that work. Yeah. All right, Wayne, that's awesome. I see you've got it lined up, the tax date lined up. You're good to go. All right, guys. Well, if there's nothing else, then we're going to go ahead and wrap things up now. Last chance. Any other questions, issues? Nothing? Okay. Thank you all. Really appreciate you making the time to be on here. It was a good conversation today. I enjoyed it. Hope you guys did too.
Thanks a lot. We appreciate you.
All right. Thank you, man. We'll see you guys. Bye.